Hello, this is Michael Owens with Here Come the Irish, and you're watching the Two Irish Brothers Show. Go Irish.
What is up, everybody? I am Irish Benjamin 57.
And I am ND Sean 45.
And together we make up the Two Irish Brothers. Now, before we get started, I want to digress for 1 second. I'll take 1 second of your time. Please, 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 if you have not hit that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button down below. Tap on that bell icon so you never miss a week of content. And if you would be so kind, leave us a like and comment. Comment at us. Good comments, bad comments, mean comments, nice comments. We want to see them. Make sure you comment on this video.
And if you don't hit those tabs, I personally will come to your door and make you hit that tab. So if you don't want me at your door because of that, or because you just don't want to see me, then hit the subscribe button, people. It's that simple. So Ben, this week, game number 2, the Toledo Rockets.
Yep, the Toledo Rockets come into South Bend. Both teams are undefeated. 1 game under their belts. Toledo beat up on Norfolk State. Notre Dame, obviously, that thrilling 41-38 overtime victory against Florida State. Kind of polar opposites for teams right now. Pure domination for the Rockets and nail biter for Notre Dame. So pretty crazy stuff. But week 2 is here. Home opener is here. The controversial storyline, I guess, if you will, is the whole Peacock Network situation, since this game will be broadcasted on the Peacock Network. But, with that being said, Toledo comes to town, a MAC school. Notre Dame has, in the last few years, been scheduling MAC schools. We've seen Bowling Green. We've seen Miami, Ohio. We've seen Ball State. So we're continuing on.
Western Michigan a couple times.
Yep. So we're continuing on with the MAC school tradition of playing 1 a year with the Toledo Rockets. So yeah, there's a lot to be said about the Rockets. That was an impressive. What was that? 49? Was that 49 points they put up?
49-10 over Norfolk State
against Norfolk State. I mean, granted they were an FCS team, but hey. Washington lost to Montana, and Montana was an FCS school. So, yeah. I'll let you think about that one for about 10 seconds. Toledo is led by Carter Bradley. Carter Bradley is a very, very good quarterback. A lot of people are hyped up this season. Brock Purdy over at Iowa State. This new guy that Alabama's got. Nobody really knows who he is. King over at Miami, DJ Uungale at Clemson, JT Daniels at Georgia, but nobody's talking about Carter Bradley. This guy was 3rd in MAC passing efficiency, 7th in passing yards per game, had a career high against Northern Illinois for 432 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, this quarterback can play some football. Not enough people are talking about this guy. Granted, he's playing MAC schools, but still, I mean, to do that kind of stuff is impressive. So Notre Dame defense has to key in on this guy. I mean, he's going to get it done if you give him the opportunities. You didn't get to see him much against Norfolk State. He only had 12 attempts because of how lopsided that game was. 8 completions, 12 attempts for 183 yards, touchdown. But he had a pass that was an 84-yard bomb for a touchdown. So that guy can sling the ball. So,
and a lot of people don't realize is that, yes, the MAC conference is, the MAC conference, not exactly known for, major bowl type teams, national championship teams, but there can be some good football in that conference. Some very talented players. They've had some teams get to major bowl games, but when they get there, it's usually not so pretty. I mean, but still, the fact that they've been able to get there at times is just impressive enough in itself. And they have had some. These teams have beaten some pretty good opponents before in the past, so you got to give credit where credit is due. But honestly, though, in my opinion, Ben, I'm not saying that this is going to be an easy game because let's face it, no game is truly easy. Doesn't matter who the opponent is, you have to execute to make it happen. Yes. And this is a Toledo Rocket team that, aside from Bradley at quarterback, they have a couple of other guys that did fairly well last week against Norfolk State. Now, I did read that their coach said that they wanted to play their backup, whose name is Daquan Finn. They wanted to play him a little bit to see what he could do. And in his time, he was 4 or 5 for 38 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. But he ended up leading the team in rushing for the day with 82 yards on 9 carries and 1 touchdown. But as far as the actual running backs go, they have a couple who are pretty decent in this kid named Bryant Koback and Micah Kelly. Now, Koback, he definitely leads the way with the numbers here, 52 yards, 9 carries, and 2 scores. But Micah Kelly, based on the numbers here, it looks like he's kind of playing that and I don't say this to degrade Chris Tyree, because Chris Tyree is a star in the making, without a doubt. But Micah Kelly right now is kind of playing the role that Chris Tyree is playing for us. I don't know if I'd really say right now, but definitely last year he did. That complement, I don't really want to say backup role to, right. But you get it. Yeah, he provides that 2 and the 1-2 punch for that Toledo running game. But Micah Kelly, he had a nice day on the ground, 41 yards on 7 carries. Didn't find the end zone, but when you put up those kind of numbers, that's putting your team in position to get some points.
Yeah. And I mean, we don't really know exactly what they're capable of because this game was so lopsided that those guys were probably yanked very early on, along with Bradley, their quarterback. So, I mean, they probably could have put up 100-something yards and a couple touchdowns more, than they did. So, 2 more guys that Notre Dame has to key in on defense. Had their struggles against the Florida State offense, passing and running. There were some major runs that Florida State had, just big gashes that defensive line cannot allow. Passes that the secondary and the linebackers can't allow. Kyle Hamilton did Kyle Hamilton things last game. He'll do Kyle Hamilton things this game. I'm obviously not worried about him. But yeah, I mean, Toledo is a team that I'm not saying they will upset Notre Dame, but they will give Notre Dame fits if Notre Dame's not careful. So and every team brings it. When you are on Notre Dame's level, when you are trying to ascend to that ultimate level that is the level of Alabama, Ohio State on good years, and what Clemson's been able to do, you're going to have teams give it their all against you. I mean, that's how it is. I'm not saying teams don't do that to every other opponent they play, but there are special things for big-name teams. I mean, look at Navy. Navy brings out a playbook just for Notre Dame. So Notre Dame has to be careful. Obviously, has to be careful.
Oh, yes. And not just
on the other side of the ball, let's get this running game going, man. How's that sound? Let's get those pancake blocks. Let's get some major gaps for Kyron and Chris Tyree. Let's get this running game going against Toledo.
Let's see that 2-headed monster actually be a 2-headed monster.
And unleash Braden Lindsay a little bit. We saw him a little bit against Florida State, but not what we were hoping for. We want some electric passes and runs and all that from Lindsay. I mean, and Cohen is not afraid to throw the deep ball. We saw that against Florida State. He is a deep ball guy. He will launch it. And that was always my thing with Ian Book. Ian Book just never seemed to want to let it go, let it fly, So let's let the dogs out, if you will, against Toledo. Let's do it. Let's get some of these other guys going. But in all honesty, if Notre Dame plays a solid game, works on the penalties like we had last game, cleans up some of the offensive line issues and the defensive line issues, I think this will be an easy win. If is the key word there, though, Sean. If.
Yes. And we know what those ifs are. The one if, and I'll just start simple here, the offensive line. It'll be easy if that offensive line can start to gel, open up those holes for the running backs like we just talked about, and give Cone time to throw, which they did. They did do a pretty good job of the pass block for sure. But also the other if is our defense. And I Ben, I don't know if you saw this, but I just read this now that we are down another linebacker. Linebacker Paul Moala has torn his Achilles tendon,
yes,
and looks like he will be out for the rest of the season, which is very unfortunate.
Yes,
I mean, thankfully we had the depth at linebacker coming into the season, but when another one goes down, that just it hurts. I don't care how much depth or talent you have. It hurts when you lose a guy who you expect to have a breakout year.
No, totally. I mean, it's, Brian Kelly was, he talked about it in his press conference today. If you saw it, basically said, we were going to lean on him. He was a guy we're counting on. Losing him is a very, big blow. I guess taking a day at a time with him and all that. So we wish him a very speedy recovery. Stinks. Next man up, though. Football's a violent game.
Yes.
A hit can end your season in a heartbeat. We've seen it, multiple times with multiple teams and all that. So, but like I said, next man up. We got to keep going. And just because we have a conflict doesn't mean the rest of the world cares.
Well, and also exactly, and also going back to the defense as a whole here. I mean, I said in the recap for Florida State that I did like our pass rush. Our pass rush was doing well. We just weren't finishing the plays. We weren't making the tackles when we were right by the ball carrier. And hopefully that Marcus Freeman and that defense, they spend this week cleaning that up, and come this Saturday we see something completely different than what we saw in Tallahassee. So yeah, I think we're fine. We win this game handily if we're able to finish off plays on the defensive side of the ball. Because we made some plays and did some good things on defense, but just the bad play overshadowed all the good in that game against Florida State.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And like you said, this is the bounce back game with Freeman. Get things really going, get the the defensive line going a little bit more, the tackles cleaning up that, and all that. And I think we're okay. After Toledo is, I think that's Purdue.
Yeah, it's our game. We're going to.
So
we will beat Purdue, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So, we have a couple games before a really, really big opponent comes to town and travel-wise, for Notre Dame. So get kinks worked out. And Toledo is the perfect team to do that. So if we can get all that going, I think it is a 49-17 victory for the Fighting Irish.
All right. And before I give my prediction, let's hear this word from our sponsor.
Welcome back to the much-anticipated matchup between the Eagles and the Bulldogs. The Eagles to receive. Let's go down to the field and get a real quick report from Meg Shipley. Meg?
The Eagles are hoping their potent offense can penetrate the Bulldogs' number 3 ranked defense. Now, I believe we're seeing some parachutes coming down. Mike, are you seeing this from up there?
Absolutely, Meg, and I have no explanation for what's going on right now, but cows are parachuting onto the field. I'm not sure if this is some kind of a protest stunt or something. 2 cows have landed on the field now. Now there's a 3rd cow headed for the stands. It's actually headed right towards a burger. Look out! Oh, my. The burger vendor is down. I think we just saw the hit of the year.
That was Ben's call for that commercial, everyone. We wanted to get some more modern ones in there.
Yeah,
But-
I love myself some Chick-fil-A. So yeah, I had to go with the Chick-fil-A sponsor, if you will. So yeah, no, I love to eat more chicken cows. I love them. So
Well, one question before I give my prediction, I have one question for you, Ben. Could you see Jack Cohn doing a repeat performance against Toledo that he did against Florida State?
oh, of course, I think sky's the limit. No pun intended for Jack Cohn.
All right. Well, on that note, I better give my prediction. I think it's going to be 45-20 Notre Dame. I think we get. I think
kind
we
of close to where I'm at. I got you. I see what you're doing there.
Oh, well, it's just
No, I
they
like
gave
it.
up.
I like
My thinking along. I was just thinking along the lines of they gave that much up against Florida State, and obviously there's a world of difference between Toledo and Florida State talent wise. So I think we give up points, but obviously not as many as we did against Florida State. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I think we finally get the running game going. Jack Cohn keeps on the roll that he's been on, even though it's only been one game. But this will be the game that we were able to put everything together. And I don't like to call this an easy game because it's not. Like I said, no game is easy. But this will be the kind of game that I think that gives us a chance to, really get things going and put it together. It comes at a really good time. So
yeah.
That's my call. 45-20 Irish defeat Toledo. So on that note, Ben, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I got nothing.
All right, same here. And on that note, everyone, this is ND Sean 45.
This is Irish Benjamin 57.
And as we always say, God bless, good night, and go Irish.
Go Irish. Beat Toledo.